Welcome to Staying on the Trail with your host, Jeny Gangemi. What are some of the teachings that have entered the church? What's the difference between Christianity and a cult? Do all roads lead to God? Has the church been infiltrated by demonic doctrines? And is being spiritual the same thing as being in the Spirit? Well, let's find out together and see what the scriptures say.
And we are out here to better the world, to make everything a better place. And I think sometimes we get misconstrued just because we've been through so much. Not to say anybody else hasn't, who doesn't identify as a light warrior, but I think that we have, and sometimes it makes us maybe less emotional, or it makes us seem like we're a little bit more of a tough ass, but that's cool. We're pretty brave, as long as we're understood. You know, we're out here to make more love in the world, to create more spirituality, more happiness. I think that's what it is. It's not just about being different. We are here to share the love too. We're just brave, we're courageous, we do things a little bit differently. We're in your face. We are we're in your face. We are out there doing things. Physically, we're doing things to contribute. We're showing our freedom, we're expressing ourselves differently. Light warriors, yeah, like a lot of us wear armor still. A lot of us don't take off our armor for a long time. Sometimes it takes special circumstance in order to get rid of that armor, or to feel comfortable doing that, and that's okay too. But yeah, light warriors, put your comments below to what you think it means, because you guys know in your heart if it's true or not.
Make the world a better place. Wasn't she cute? She just seemed to have just learned something, but she's not even sure what it was. She just couldn't even grasp it, so she just kind of rambled on and on about what it was. It was very feelings-based, feelings-oriented. You could know that. And you know, the verse I just had posted before you saw this face is that the heart's deceitful above all things. Beware, okay? And one of the things she was talking about was like, you know, don't you feel this way? Well, let me tell you a secret. We all feel this way because we all know ourselves better than we know other people. We're very comfortable with ourselves. And most of us think that we're the only ones. We understand ourselves, but nobody else can. So that we're like in this bubble of our own, and we must be special. Well, of course we think we are special. That's self-love. We all are born that way. So another thing is the vagueness of what she was saying. She said, we need to be out there doing things. Well, yeah, you know, we all feel that way. We need to help the world, make a better place. But what's the vagueness? Out there doing what things? She couldn't tell, but she just knew something was pushing her. She couldn't put her finger on it. I just really felt bad for her because, you know, a lot of the young people, a lot of the young folks, I sound really old now, feeling the same way, and she's just not sure about it, but she wants to follow it, like some kind of a ethereal Pied Piper is you know, leading her. So let's check another video. This time it's from a man. His name's Kyle Gray. He's a young man, and he knows a lot more than she does. He seems a lot more sure of himself because he wrote many, many books. He wrote a book called Light Warrior. So let's take a look at what he has to say, and then you can see this face again.
Themselves is actually what they're doing for the world. So a light warrior actively looks at their own life, their own fears, their own darkness, and aims to overcome them. All of our own fears, all of our own darkness, all of our own stuff that we have hidden within, if we take an opportunity to change that, to heal that, and to see that for what it actually is, we can reclaim a lost power from within. That power gives us courage. It gives us this voice of assertiveness. It gives us the opportunity to directly connect with our own guardian angels, our spirit guides, and all of the beings that are working to help heal the world. I believe a light warrior is someone who actively dives deep into themselves and acknowledges all of the feelings that they're having. So many people who are interested in healing work and light work often will see that All their thoughts are actively changing their life. They are creating circumstances. They are creating experiences. So often many light workers will avoid how they really feel. Whereas a light warrior is someone who actually wants to acknowledge how they feel, even if that feeling is challenging. One of my favorite great spiritual teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, says, in order to overcome a suffering, first we must acknowledge it. A light warrior acknowledges any aspects of their life that they are challenged by, and then they find strength within to overcome them by acknowledging how they really feel. Here's the other thing. If we acknowledge how we feel right now, acknowledge the feelings that are coming up from within us, when we know ourselves, then we have a capacity to know our angels, know our guides, and know divine guidance that's coming up from within. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to learn more about unlocking the light warrior within, check out my new book, Light Warrior.
So Kyle Gray, I was thinking of the increase in the Marvel superhero movies that are so prevalent right now. Everybody wants to be a superhero. The Incredibles, love those movies, by the way. But, you know, it all appeals to our ego, our pride, our self-worth. Two major things that he said that I want to touch upon is the first one is he quoted, "What you do for yourself is done for the world." Okay, you know, mundane things, you get out of bed, you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, yeah, do that for yourself because you are helping other people. He's not talking about that, okay? This whole self-love is so prevalent right now, and the Bible talks about in the last days, men will become lovers of self, etc., etc. The coffee mug I saw at Target the other day said 3 words, more self-love. That's it, and that's the mantra today. No greater love has no man than to lay down his life for his friends. That's John 15:13. That's God's way. Okay, our love is to be self-sacrificing, not selfish, but the world turns it backwards. We need to love ourselves more because that's the problem. Well, it's not the problem. So the Bible talks about loving others better than ourselves. Philippians 2:3. So God's saying the opposite, but this teaching is total opposite of what God says. Here's something scary, okay? What he says, and here's a quote. He says, reclaim a lost power from within. Connect with our own guardian angels and spirit guides. Now that's a little bit more in depth than the young lady who was in the prior video. He really goes in depth. So as I peruse most of his books, there are more about worshiping angels and your spirit guides. Can I tell you who your spirit guides are? Your spirit guides are demons. They disguise themselves as angels of light. This is from the scripture. God in his wisdom has instructed us and warned us. All those verses in the scriptures that say, take heed, are there for a reason, so we can be careful because this stuff happens. He wouldn't warn us about something that would happen if it wasn't going to happen, and it's happening. He worships angels, okay? In the scriptures, anytime an angel actually would appear to somebody, there was always one factor, and that's fear. That's the fear factor, okay? They would fall down as dead men, and these angels always pointed to Jesus. They said, no, don't worship me. They made sure, don't worship me. Okay, and they pointed to Jesus. We're specifically warned not to believe every spirit, for example, spirit guides, okay, but test the spirits, 1 John 4. And one thing, Jesus' best friend on earth, when he was here in his ministry for 3 years or plus, was John. That was his beloved disciple. They were like best friends, brothers almost. And you know what happened when John saw Jesus in the book of Revelation? He fell down as dead. Now they knew each other so well, but when he saw him in his glorified state, he fell down as a dead person. And the angel said, no, get up, don't be afraid. So most of the angels, all of the angels in the Bible say, don't be afraid. Okay, so there's books on Amazon, you can look them up from this author. There's also videos, there's Facebook groups, social media groups. And this video is a quick one, but it's just to address the whole issue so you can get kind of an overview. So there are a lot of social media groups. There's the higher selves, and that's what they talk about in the New Age religion or whatever you want to call it today. Your higher self is actually your spirit guide. So as you meditate, okay? This is not biblical meditation, which is thinking about what you just read and pondering. This is today's definition of meditation, when you quiet your mind and you make your mind blank, and then you'll hear from your spirit guide, which they say is your higher self, your inner self, your best self. You've heard that now, right? Okay? There's only one I am. If you heard in the videos or you look on these social media groups, you'll see a lot of I am, I am, I am. There's one I am, and that's God. So here's a photo. The Warriors of Light. This is sick. I mean, I really had to stop the research at this point because it was making me physically ill. This is just so opposite of what God teaches us in scriptures. So speaking of the scriptures, what saith the scriptures? Okay, there's a few passages regarding light. Light, John 1, verses 1 to 12. 4:4, the God of this world. Who's in charge of this world? Well, God is in charge of this world. He created it. But who's in the Garden of Eden? Who took it over? Who did Adam hand it over to when he sinned? Satan himself, the serpent. Okay, the God of this world is Satan himself, and he controls it, the way of this world. Jesus is the light of this world. John 9:5, John 8:12. And there's a whole bunch of more verses. I'll say them, and I'll put them on the screen. Ephesians 5:8, John 5:35, John 3:19, 2 Corinthians 4:6, John 12:55, 1 John 1:5, and Acts 26:23, if you want to do a little study on light. There's some verses for you. Okay, 1 Timothy 6:16, regarding Jesus, said, no man can approach unto God. Man would be vaporized. Our physical bodies can't handle that amount of glory, light, power, all in one. We couldn't handle it. We would just be vaporized. John 1:18 says, no man has seen God and lived, except for the Son. God's Son Jesus has seen him, but that's it. None of us men, none of these, I've gone to heaven, I saw God, and I came back to tell everybody about it. Those are baloney. Those are made up stories for money, which some have come forward and admitted, and they're also just deceptions when you know, these people were in a half-death state and were visited by the spirit guides and told them these things. That's what we're warned about in scriptures. So, but these folks, so John, Jesus' best friend on earth, was terribly afraid when he saw an angel, but these folks are light warriors and they're not afraid, and they speak with such confidence about seeing these angels and spirit guides, and they're not afraid at all. Well, back to Acts 22:9, with Paul, the disciples, they saw the people that were with Paul, his followers, they saw the light and they were afraid. I think the King James says they were sore afraid, which is even worse afraid, worser afraid. So that's what the scriptures say. And one of those take heed verses, which are so important for us to take heed, is 2 Corinthians 11:14. Take heed because Satan himself appears as an angel of light. And another verse, Luke 11:35, take heed that the light is not darkness. The light you're seeing is not darkness. We have to discern that. It can appear, Satan appears as an angel of light. He doesn't appear as a devil with the pitchfork and the red horns and all that stuff. No, an angel of light, goodness, for the whole world, for the good, for the greater good, all those terms. So those are just what the Bible has to say about it. Very, very briefly, quick overview. You can do a further study. I just wanted to touch a little bit on these light warriors, these, you know that. So is this in churches yet? That's what I want to know, okay? I know the world's full of all these weird, crazy beliefs, but the concern for the believer is this entering into our churches? And scarily, you like that word? I make up my words here. You know what I mean. Scarily, it is in the churches. It's coming in, coming soon. Terms like unlock, words like levels, run away from that. There are no levels with God. There's no unlocking mysteries. The only mystery you can unlock is you read the scriptures, and the whole mystery of the gospel is right there for you to believe and learn from. But there's no levels and unlocking, and pay for this course and we'll teach you how to unlock the secrets. Okay, money, follow the money. Roma Downey, she has what's termed light workers. Be careful of that, because that's the same thing coming into the church. That's the term she uses. So yes, be on the lookout. This stuff's coming into the church. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes in the scriptures and keep your eyes on the Lord. I hope you learn a little bit of something. If you want to do your own research, go ahead. Until next time, I'm Jeny Gangemi, and I'll see you on the trail.
Have you ever heard the expression, it's better to light one candle than curse the darkness? Well, when my husband, Mark.And, and I began Lightworkers Media, that expression served as our inspiration.
We have the ability to add color to everyone's life.
The world could always use a little more positivity.
This is a really cool opportunity to spread a different kind of a message.
We set out to encourage, engage, uplift and unite through our work in film and now online.
Everybody needs it, wants it, got to have it, can't live without it, but what is it?
I'd rather have a life without limbs than a life without purpose. Dream bigger.
I truly believe if we empower people, then our communities are empowered.
It's our belief that when the heart opens, all things are possible.
It can be your darkest day, but we will find a way to laugh.
We're more alike than we're different.
You are greater than the subtonal of your parts.
We invite you to join our online community of optimists, believers, dreamers, innovators, and doers who celebrate life while looking for the good in everyone and everything.
I am going to do this day so well.
Easy does not have to be unhealthy.
In today's world, a little good goes a long way.
This is subtle, it's coming in the church, and I want you to notice how females are the star of the show. More on that next time. Look forward to October 8th, where 4 of us older ladies in the faith are getting together on a YouTube video called Women of Discernment, and we'll be teaching on how to be discerning according to the scriptures. See you soon.